Lobsters are large members of the taxonomic subphylum Crustacea, along with crabs, shrimp, crayfish, and krill. There are over 54 different lobster species. While not all species possess them, these creatures are known for their large pairs of claws. Lobsters live along the seafloor and frequently inhabit burrows in rock crevices. Description of the lobster. These invertebrates have a protective exoskeleton made of chitin. As they grow, they mold this exoskeleton and are vulnerable until the new one hardens. These creatures have 8 legs, and the first 3 pairs are equipped with claws. In some species, the first pair of claws grow much larger than the rest. Each species varies slightly in color, ranging from brown to blue, to orange and more. Interesting facts about the lobster. There's more to lobsters than a hearty meal and economic value. These specialized creatures have a number of unique adaptations. Learn more about lobsters below. The first one, blue bloods. Unlike mammals, which have iron-containing hemoglobin in their blood, giving it the bright red coloration we all know, invertebrates have slightly different blood composition. They actually have blue-colored blood. This is because their blood contains high levels of copper. The second one, foot and mouth. Unlike humans, who have sensory receptors on their tongues, lobsters taste things a little differently. Their legs are coated with small hairs, which contain chemosensors. This means that these creatures taste with their feet. The third one, high pressure. Those famously large claws are not just for show. In fact, these creatures are capable of crushing things with their claws at pressures up to 100 pounds per square inch. This allows them to break open clams, mussels, and crabs for a quick meal. The fourth one, servant's supper. During colonial times, lobsters were considered cheap, tasteless, and disgusting food sources. Prisoners were actually fed lobster during this time. Nowadays they are much more valuable as a food source. Habitat of the lobster. These crustaceans inhabit a wide variety of habitats, anywhere from the deep ocean to shallow coastlines. They will live in muddy, sandy, or rocky substrates. For the most part, lobsters retreat to burrows, rocky crevices, or underwater caves. They also usually prefer colder waters, depending on the species. Distribution of the lobster. With so many different species, it's no wonder that lobsters can be found in oceans worldwide. They can be found in every ocean on Earth, and some species are present in multiple oceans. You can find them from the frigid Arctic seas to the tropical waters surrounding the Bahamas. Diet of the lobster. These creatures are not picky eaters. They are considered to be omnivores, and will feed on virtually anything edible that they can get their claws on. Frequent prey includes fish, clams, mussels, worms, underwater vegetation, crabs, and even other lobsters. Cannibalism occurs in captive environments, but has also been recorded in wild populations with very high numbers. Lobster and human interaction. People love lobsters, particularly the taste. These crustaceans are used in a wide variety of different cultures and recipes, including soups, pasta dishes, and more. Their populations are closely monitored, and fisheries are regulated to keep populations self-sustainable. Domestication. These crustaceans have not been domesticated in any way. They do not breed well in captivity because they are prone to cannibalism. Does the lobster make a good pet? Some lobster species make good, albeit pinchy, pets. There are a number of freshwater and saltwater species that are commonly kept in aquariums. This should be obvious, but it is not recommended to handle these pets. Lobster care. In an aquarium setting, lobsters require specific temperatures, salinity, and pH to survive. Make sure that you look up the care requirements for your specific species. Feeding requirements will also vary based on what species you have. Many will scavenge uneaten food, plants, and more. With any species, it is important to provide calcium for healthy shell growth, particularly during molting. Behavior of the lobster. Most species are solitary outside of the breeding season, but some will congregate in hiding places. They walk along the seafloor and move relatively slowly, but are capable of swift backwards propulsion by snapping their tails against their abdomens. These crustaceans search for food along the seafloor at nighttime, which makes them nocturnal. Reproduction of the lobster. These creatures cannot reproduce until after the female molts, and her shell is soft. She releases a pheromone when she sheds her shell and nearby males battle for breeding rights. The winner deposits sperm packets, which the female will store for up to 15 months, before releasing her eggs. She will lay anywhere from 5,000 to 10,000 eggs, most of which will be eaten by predators. The eggs will hatch into larvae, and they will molt over 4 times, before they begin to resemble adult lobsters. Threats to survival. Populations of commercially important lobster species are thought to be declining, and overfishing, particularly of clawed lobsters in Europe, is taking a toll. Additionally, pollution is causing shell rot and other illnesses in normally disease-resistant species. Cool facts about sea lobsters. First one, 2 strong front claws. The first thing to know about Maine lobsters, and what visually distinguishes them from other types of lobsters, is that they have 2 strong front claws. All lobsters have 8 walking legs they use to crawl forward. The second one, wild lobsters are colorful. While we commonly imagine the iconic bright red lobster, lobsters in nature are a wide range of colors, but not red. Wild lobsters can be green, blue, yellow, gray, calico, multicolored, or even albino. Most commonly, lobsters are a dark greenish-brown, and the more unique colors are the result of a genetic mutation that causes a color of the pigment to be missing. When a lobster is cooked, only the red pigments in the shell can withstand the heat, resulting in the bright red shell most people are familiar with. Only albino, or white, lobsters retain their natural color after they are cooked because their shell does not contain any color pigments. The third one, lobsters have clear blood. Unlike humans and other mammals whose blood is red, lobsters have clear blood. When cooked, their blood oozes out of the lobster meat, producing a thick opaque white substance. You can see this jelly-like substance along the inside of the shell when you crack it open. The fourth one, lobsters have a dominant claw. Each lobster has 2 different claws, a larger crusher claw and a smaller pincher claw. The crusher claw has a ridged edge that resembles molars and is used to break up hard foods such as clams and crabs. The pincher claw, or ripper claw, is used to tear apart softer prey such as worms or fish. These claws can be on different sides of a lobster's body, as the crusher claw is always on the lobster's dominant side. The fifth one, lobsters can regenerate their limbs. If a lobster loses a claw, antenna, or leg, it is able to grow it back. However, it typically takes about 5 years for a lobster to regenerate a claw that is the same size as the one it lost. Lobsters that are missing a claw are referred to in the industry as cull. Cull can still be caught and consumed, and are often marked down in stores. However, if you are serving lobster a fancy dinner party, you may want to wait for its limbs to grow back. The sixth one, lobsters smell with their legs. Lobsters use small chemosensory hairs on their legs and feet to identify their food. This is particularly useful for small creatures or food that is dissolved into the water. Lobsters also use the antennae on the front of their heads to smell food that is further away. Combined, these features make their sense of smell so precise that they can seek out a single amino acid just by smelling. When consuming their prey, the hairs on a lobster's front walking legs allow them to taste the food.
So, today we are talking about some details about sea lobsters. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more videos.